It's good. As
Okay,
opposed
cool.
to, so we record live on the show, but if you
Sure.
wanted to like do a segment, like you know how when I would have everybody separated or it's different, it's because I would take everybody's audio with no graphics, so everybody's video and audio will be clean.
Okay, but you know what else is clean? The live
That red
button
light.
is on, and we are back. Good brothers, we took a break last week so we can get ourselves in line and ready for this year's King and Queen of the Ring, located in the Kingdom of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Gentlemen, this show is not just your ordinary King and Queen of the Ring preview show. Tonight's show, we are going to take a quick trip, a blast to the past. If your brother Brandon has had a magnificent idea to talk about the journey to King of the Ring, we will talk about our past favorite King of the Ring pay-per-views, our favorite winners, Queen of the Ring, along with this year's PLE, that and so much more. So after a much needed break, ladies and gentlemen, the realm is back. So buckle your seatbelts because you know this is the hottest party this late as we record this show live. For those who are here, welcome, because trust me, this is going to be another one of those shows. Come on, come back with us. For those wrestling fans that walked away, this is your moment. We're going back to the past. King of the Ring, here we go. And that's what I was waiting for. Welcome to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, you can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/Wrestling Realm. Follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Threads, X, and Facebook at Wrestling Realm. Engage in the conversation with us. You can download all of our audio content anytime on Spotify. Watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at Wrestling Realm. I am your host, the big fella, the man, the guy, not just the guy, not Brandon the guy, but the realness, the real Dwayne Allen in the building today. But speaking of the guy, the curator of championship culture. I just can't get it together. Culture? Like their culture. Anyway, we'll keep going. The curator
We
of
the people?
championship culture. It's been a long week. Brandon, the guy in the building, and conspicuous by his absence. Brother Hugh has the third. A to the A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R, to the D. He may join us a little bit later. Who knows? But also, the man, the myth, the legend, the heart and soul of the wrestling realm. The man. You better watch yourselves because you know what he does and what he does best, and it causes a lot of problems. That's why we call him Brian H. Waters in the building. I figured the 3 times might be the charm.
That was good.
That was a nice little touch, wasn't it? This is that week back, so you know I'm taking my time. It's okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want to support the Wrestling Realm, head over now to WrestlingRealm.com. That is correct. You can shop now all of our merchandise, apparel, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more at WrestlingRealm.com. How many shows actually have their own merchandise? And how many shows have the styles and the different shirts and the different variations of these different things? Well, actually, quite a few of them do. But if you want to stay in line, with everyone else and support the brand, you can do so at WrestlingRealm.com. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more. Like I said before, I say it every week. We're going to be doing some live unboxings of some product coming soon. Please be patient. And hopefully we'll be unveiling some new products sooner rather than later. But if you want to check out what we have now, head over to WrestlingRealm.com where you can do so. But if you can't get enough of the Wrestling Realm, we have a Patreon. That's right, patreon.com/the_wrestling_realm for all of our exclusive shows and bonus material. Now, don't get me wrong. sometimes you got to take a step back in order to take a step forward. And our Patreon channel is a pure example of that. But there's so much content on there, things that we haven't had a chance to talk about on the air, stories that we probably shouldn't say on the air. But guess what? If you subscribe for just as low as $1, Brian, what's the line?
Pay to one.
Pay to one. You can subscribe for just as low as $1. Oh yeah. So did you have something new today at the Patreon?
Yeah, I actually did.
We'll talk about it. We're advertising Patreon. Go ahead. What did you drop today for our patrons at patreon.com?
Y'all know my guy HB Kizzle for Shizzle. He been cooking.
Wow.
Yeah, my guy. You know, it's my man's Shawn Michaels. Wow, I can't even add in here. We've been rolling. But yeah, wait, hold on. I'm trying to throw in the graphic, but it's like
Is
all
it
this.
Too long? I need to.
No, I'm gonna delete one of these. I just delete one of these layouts. Oh, now. Oh, okay. I see. All right, here we go. But you know, Shawn Michaels was doing his thing. So you know, one of the things I wanted to talk about was how black women are ruling NXT. So you know,
right now.
I've been feeling inspired. You know, led by the wonderful Ava, who's the GM. But you got Jada Parker, you got Soul Ruka, you got Last Legend. All three of them are a part of the Women's North American Championship match to determine the inaugural champion. And so I wanted to talk about that, you know. So that's going to drop this week on YouTube. But, you know, I figured, you know what, our patrons, they should get it first. So there you go. Just $1.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the benefit of subscribing to our Patreon. You get it early and you get it ad free. Not to say we have any ads in the first place, but eventually we will. Patreon is where you want to be. So once again, if you want to check out this latest, this is Brian H's thoughts, right?
Yep.
Brian H's
thoughts. Let's break it down. Break it down. I'm
tripping. So this is the
Brian H thoughts straight audio. I'm gonna say straight ick and bottom because Dylan put ick and bottom in there.
So break it down with Brian H. Back on Patreon. If you haven't seen previous episodes, go check out the other episodes. There's so much more to come to Patreon. I'm working on Realness Reacts. I know I've been standing for like 6 years now, but it's okay. Trust me, it's going to get there. We write, we perform, we do all kind of things. We have blooper reels. We have so much on our Patreon. We are working to get it up and running. Like I said, it's a work in progress. You got to take a step back in order to take a step forward. But just pay the one. You can subscribe for just as low as $1 on patreon.com/thewrestling_realm. Now, if we weren't as generous as we're providing all these services. We try to give back to the fans as much as possible. Guess what? We're also here to save you a few dollars here and there. This is the summertime. Festivals, outdoor concerts, so much going on during this time of year. So if you're looking to purchase tickets to concerts, live shows, sporting events, and more, head over to SeatGeek.com where you can use promo code Wrestling Realm for any one-time purchase of $50 or more. SeatGeek has generously partnered with us, and we are here to save you some money. And guess what? If you have used this promo code at one point in time, hit us up and let us know that the Wrestling Realm did you a solid and save you a few dollars. Like I said, with inflation, tickets cost what they cost these days. And if you get more than one, most likely you're going to pay probably $50 or more anyway. So do yourself a favor and just save yourself a few dollars. $20 to be exact. Once again, using promo code Wrestling Realm, all one word. Don't forget 2 W's. Now, speaking of advertising, if you would like to advertise with the Wrestling Realm, please contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. Please put in the subject line advertise, and we will give you some rate and some information. If we're a good fit and good partnership, advertise your show with us. Advertise your event. Don't forget, contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. Now, here we go, brothers. This is my favorite part of the show. This is the part where we advertise the latest and the greatest, the newest, the most fastest rising show to the Wrestling Realm brand that taken the world by storm, curated by the guy and has the third. I like this outfit. I play it every single time. Championship culture. That's right. If you are not familiar with it, which I know you are, Championship Culture every Tuesday, 8 p.m. on youtube.com/the Wrestling Realm playlist. Championship Culture. We are well deep into season 2. And I must admit that I thought season 1 was insane. Season 2 has just been mind-blowing with what Brother Hugh, with what Brandon the guy have put together, and the way that they're kind of making their stamp and their mark into the belt community. But this week's show was very, very different, and it was very special. It seemed like a bit of a takeover, but I'll let Brandon the guy tell you all exactly what this week's episode of Championship Culture was about. Brother guy. So usually this is the part where you and Brother Hugh do rock, paper, scissors and figure out who's going to talk about the show first.
Yeah, and then I'm left with no choice, right? Let me just say this about the show. Let me just show y'all something.
There we go.
Yesterday's show.
I was like, I don't have a grip for you, but there it is. I'm glad it's still there.
Yeah, yesterday's show was entitled Stars, Stripes, and Slams. The Chronicles of the United States Championship. And if this doesn't get you in the mood to want to go over to youtube.com/the Wrestling Realm, I don't know what will. If you go look at the playlist for Championship Culture, you will see the latest episode. And this is part of it. But not to be dismissed with that, we also talked about this here. So if you want to see what this is about, because we did have a special guest too. And our special guest is the guy that usually have notes. But I believe this is what broke him. And ladies and gentlemen, what I'm showing on the screen is a picture of Kofi Kingston and a picture of Dolph Ziggler. And that's all I'm going to say about that as it relates to the WWE United States Championship. So if you wanted some good things to watch after the flagship show tonight, go over to youtube.com/wrestling and tune into Championship Culture and check out Stars, Stripes, and Slams, the Chronicles of the United States Championship. America. So we didn't only talk about the WWE. You know, this is the belt that ran through 3 different companies: NWA, WCW, and WWF/E. So I think the song is almost over. There we go, because every belt has a story.
Last night's show made me feel patriotic.
Just because it's America's song, they can't copyright that song, right? We should
no, we won't do it like that. He was talking over it, so they can't figure it out. Trust me. But it would be un-American for them to flag the national anthem in a show. But yesterday's show was all about the United States Championship. Once again, I'm a disruptor, and I was on a previous show of Championship Culture. They had blessed me with the opportunity to, kind of produce a few topics for season 2 of Championship Culture. And Brother Guy usually doesn't like WCW championships. He doesn't reverence them in the same respect as every other championship. So there was a conversation about that on a previous show. And the topic of the United States Championship came up, and it was quickly shot down. It's because the lineage of the United States Championship, it spans far beyond a topic on one show. So it ended up getting its own show, and that's where the realness kind of took his place. Me being an avid fan of the United States Championship and WCW at that time. Now, with that being said, man, I went into the show thinking I had stuff figured out, thinking I could hold my ground with the lineage of what happened with the United States Championship prior to the WWE. And then we got to a conversation with about there's an era in WWE where that United States Championship was held by some of the greatest performers to ever lace up a pair of boots in the ring. And we got to a point in that show where I don't want to say I forgot about that period, but I forgot about that period. It's because the way the United States Champion was booked was just a good wrestling act. And it took me back, and I found myself at a loss for words, and I never thought that was going to happen. And I couldn't believe myself, and I was like, wait a second. I didn't come on the show for this. I came to be on top because I know a few things. I'm not a normal guest. And I was really stumped. But there was a level of appreciation that I had for Championship Culture for allowing me to say, you know what? I need to go back and appreciate this ruthless aggression era of professional wrestling with the United States Championship. But listen, if I'm not here to spoil the show for you, but please go back and watch it. Like I said, youtube.com/the Wrestling Realm playlist Championship Culture in season 2. Watch all the previous shows if you have not, which I know you have. But go back and watch this United States Championship. Anybody that has watched the wrestling from 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way up to now. You can, if there was something for everybody, you can appreciate this show. And trust me, I'm sure you'll be at a loss for words just as much as I was. So definitely go back and definitely watch the show. I was stuck, man. I definitely appreciate it. Look at who's got it. America. But
no, America. Yeah, I said without the A. America.
Shout out to Brother Hugh. But definitely go please. Championship Culture every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's pre-recorded, but check out the live shows. I'm usually in the comments trying to disrupt things. But like I said, Championship Culture is very important in what we do, and it's important to the wrestling culture because Brandon, say the line.
Everybody has a story.
Yes. Every belt indeed has a story. But what about our story? See, our story has just begun. See you soon.
Brady, can you ring the bell, please?
I remember. I think yeah, I gotta get it. I gotta reprogram this. So we'll throw that one.
No, don't even worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk about King of the Ring. Brother Guy brought this idea to us. We're coming up on King of the Ring, right? And there's no better way. King and Queen of the Ring. You got to be politically correct. And there's no better way to celebrate what we have going on, but to celebrate our favorite King of the Ring winners, our favorite Queen of the Ring winners, even though there's only a handful, and so on and so forth. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you couldn't figure out what tonight's show was about, I know we're talking about the Kings of Rock, but we got to pay respect to the Kings. One of our favorite pay-per-views turned into PLEs. This is why we are here today. And guess what? We're here to talk about some of our favorite past King of the Ring winners. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much the main event of tonight's show. We will get into that and more, but we have a few things that we have to talk about. Now, usually, before we get into the meat and potatoes of what tonight's show is about,
the King of Rock. The King of Rock.
See, there you go. See, the other guy's ready. And guess what? He has notes. Trust me, and I have notes too. I hope you didn't think I forgot. I know I talked about championship culture, but trust me, I've still got notes.
You didn't say your notes.
No,
for last week's show either.
I got last week's show too, but like I said, I wanted to make sure that everybody knew why we were here, because we are here to talk about the Kings. We'll get to that, but we have to talk about what we watch. First of all, I got distracted by whatever y'all got going on with Uncle Howdy over there, but I'm going to give you my notes. We'll get back to that in a second, but yeah, let me get back to my notes. Championship culture. Sorry, Brian. I didn't mean to hold us up, but a little rusty. It's been a week. Every week after championship, that thing threw me off. Every week, we have championship culture. I usually have notes, and guess what? This week and last week, I've got notes. Here it is, Brian. I got a new mic.
Oh,
there you go. Now that their audio is recorded separately now. Yes. First of all, last week. Let's have 2 weeks worth of notes. Let me go back to the week before. There was a show in Championship Culture. It was called was it Right Belt Wrong Time? Is that correct?
Yes,
Brother Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right Belt Wrong Time.
Right Belt Wrong Time, and it was such a disrespectful show. Oh my gosh, it was
well, shout out to Mike from Mouth It Off with Mike for joining us. Because
I was going to get there, but go ahead, give it because I'm
go ahead.
No, this is perfect. You can hear straight from the horse's mouth. Tell the people about what that particular show is about, and I'll give you my rebuttal to it. But it was a very fun show, and I was watching it from a distance, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is." But go ahead.
So we talked about a couple belts in the collection, some belts not, but oftentimes in wrestling we have some belts that came. It's the right belt, but man, it was the wrong time, or it debuted at the wrong time. And one of those said belts were the Cruiserweight. The other one was the Speed Belt, the ROH Pure Belt, and the NXT North American Championship. And the crazy part is, I threw such a curveball at Mike. It was kind of like, I kind of see that point, but I still want to stick to my own point. You can see I Dwayne Allen him. I kind of threw it, and he kind of was like, "Ugh, I kind of want to sway." So when I tell you, it was a good discussion about right belt, wrong time. So,
now, with
but
that being said,
Mike did an
go ahead.
awesome job as usual because remember you said it on Big Go vs. the World. He doesn't act like he's his age, and he definitely knows some stuff. He knows some stuff. So,
shout off
back to you, sir, for your notes.
No, he was good. So I watched that show, and usually the following week we took off here ready for this show, and what caught my attention the most, and I'll speed through this. Speaking of speed, they talked about the speed championship. Now, Brian H., you're familiar with the speed championship, aren't you, sir?
Yes,
now, Brian
sir.
Brian is a social media guru. He was the one that told us a long time ago, like social media is the wave. Like, yeah, if you don't get on this wave, you're gonna get lost. And a lot of people got lost because they didn't get on the wave. So the Speed Championship for WWE was developed for WWE Speed, a concept of 3-minute base matches, literally for social media, for Twitter, right? It's almost on the same atmosphere as a digital media championship, right? We don't have a television champion anymore because television is changing. Pretty soon we're gonna have like a streaming championship because that's where the product is going, right? So they developed this Speed Championship, and oh my goodness, Mike and Brandon the guy, they started going in about the Speed Championship. They called it the Need for Speed Championship, the Fast and Furious title.
Gone in 60 seconds.
Gone in 60 seconds.
I think I broke everybody when I said it looks like a dashboard. And then the comments there was like, oh, it does look like a dashboard.
And then
I said the side plate should have been the gas.
And then he flipped his own idea when he goes, wait a minute, this could be the belt they sent to NASCAR. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, they was all in on it. Here's what I have to say. It's in here. The Speed Championship. They're like they all hated it. They're like, I don't hate this boy. Here's my thing, Brian. Let's school these older whippersnappers. I'm gonna tell you why I have no problem with the WWE Speed Championship. And this is the one thing that I was like, from that show, I was like, I gotta speak on this. And I was shocked that these guys aren't adjusting, right? Triple H has taught us one thing, and he has taught us something that I'm willing to do, and that's throw out the old book, throw out the playbook. Right? We got a new coach. We're not assistant coach didn't get he didn't get a promotion. We got a new head coach, and this is it is a gimmick title, but it's for a gimmick situation. It's supposed to be fun looking. It's supposed to look gimmicky. It's supposed to be colorful. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with the Speed Championship, but the disrespect. Everybody is such a traditionalist. I'm like, wait a minute now. This is a new concept. It's not the 24/7 championship. It's something along that line. And I was just like I was shocked that these belt guys wouldn't have embraced this kind of new era of producing championships for these moments, because you got to give that belt something. You know what I mean? You got to give the Speed Champion something to make it worthwhile. And I think it's fun. I actually like the design. I like the color of it. It's a gimmick belt, and it's meant to be. They're destroying it. Look at it.
It looks like a dashboard.
It's fun. It's supposed to be.
It looks like it's fun. I'm just saying, it looks like a dashboard.
They were killing it, right? What do you think about the Speed Championship, sir?
I like it. I would like to see it more. We actually had this conversation the other day about why not, like, Ricochet is the Speed Champion. Carry it with pride. Walk around with the title. It's a championship. The thing about the 80s that Hogan always talked about was the fact that, it was a shoot to him, because if you had a championship, that means you had the money. And so carry on that concept, I do like the fact you got these quick matches, but I don't feel like it's as gimmicky, because you got guys going out there. It's not like, they wearing crazy outfits and all this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Sure. We can get into it later, but the King of the Ring for a period of time became like a gimmick,
Sure.
And
on Raw.
I mean,
on Raw.
Yeah. Baron Corbin, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, you know what I mean? William Regal, and it was like, y'all are kings, but it was a gimmick. Let's be real. You know what I mean?
It was.
I mean, in all intents and purposes, people may think this is blasphemous. Owen Hart,
Yeah.
It was they walked around the robe. He walked around the crown. King Mabel. Now, some people did propel to the main event, like Owen and Mabel. They had unofficially, the King of the Ring told us they was gonna be in, they was both in the main event the following SummerSlam. But it's not like people like Shamrock and Edge who, they was the king. Well, Edge had a trophy instead of the crown and stuff. Shamrock, I don't even think he had anything. It's like, okay, you the king of the ring, keep it moving.
That was stupid. Yeah.
So I don't get that vibe from the Speed title. I think because we know it's on there, but if it was on Raw or Smack, like if it was defended on Raw every week or introduced on Raw, I should say, it would feel like a gimmick title. But this feels like it feels competitive.
It's like look, you're going to get 3 minutes anyway. That's all we're going to get. Let's make something special out of it at least. It's probably most likely going to be a dark match. Let's set it up for something else. So I think it's the way of helping your talent feel important. So keep our guys Cedric Alexander and Ricochet completely busy. And also in my notes, I kind of mentioned it already, but just I have all these United States champions. That I went down a rabbit hole all day today looking at United States champion matches, and I think the one that really took me back was Kofi Kingston and the Miz's run. Like that was the Miz first singles real championship, and Kofi Kingston is Miz owes Kofi Kingston his career as far as that. That was his first major one, and put him over, especially he was such a credible champion and stuff like that. So, but we got to move on. That's my notes. Here you go, Brian H. Okay, with that being said, let's catch up, running behind a little bit. King of the Ring, gentlemen, what did you watch this week? Every week we do a segment on this show, as if you don't know. It's called "What Did You Watch?" We talk about what we watched throughout the week outside of our regular TV shows, whatever it may be, to keep our minds and our wrestling brain sharp for this show. So every week we do a special segment called "What Did You Watch?" sponsored by you if you want to. So email us at wrestlingrum@gmail.com and we will give you the rates. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get this segment on the go. Let me guys go some time. I watched heck of you matches thanks to and more. What was the show? I just said Star Stripes. What was the show called, brother Brandon?
You said, what did you call it? It was Star Stripes and Slams.
Okay, there you
go. Star Stripes and Slams.
I was close. But brothers, what did you watch this week? Brother Guy.
Woo, buddy. So it's crazy because I don't want to beat a dead horse, but when I was preparing for the show, I went down a Kofi Kingston rabbit hole. And when I say Kofi Kingston rabbit hole, now the Kofi Mania means more to me, because when I went down this rabbit hole, I realized that the tag team run with CM Punk, Evan Bourne, and R-Truth, arguably forgettable, right? We might have forgot about that because we always think about the New Day. His U.S. title match with MVP, the show of respect at the end of that match. He won the IC title on the main event, actual main event, and it was the white strap, and that was his fourth title reign, and it felt just as important as his other ones. But the one that really stood out was in 2013 with him and Cesaro for the United States Championship. And if you watch it, that last part of it, they were so in sync. That roll through and how he turned it into the Trouble in Paradise, I was like, oh, like it kind of hit you like an RKO out of nowhere. Like Kofi used to hit that Trouble in Paradise, and it was always like, oh, like out of nowhere. He was just so smooth with
like
it.
A finisher.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, so when I tell you I went down that rabbit hole, and the funniest, I forgot how funny he was at the beginning of the New Day. Because if you go back and watch that SummerSlam match in 2015, the way that him and Big E celebrated, you would have thought they just like hit the lottery or something. And Kofi was jumping on the ground like a dead fish. It was so hilarious, but it was so worth it. Yeah, but I'm telling you that match with him and Cesaro might have been my favorite Kofi match outside of his rivalry with Ziggler, his rivalry even with Sheamus. When I said on the show, remember Sheamus wore his Captain America gear, as I like to call it. Yeah, but I went down a whole. When I tell you, a Kofi Kingston rabbit hole, I appreciate Kofi Mania so much more now. Like I always had an appreciation for it, but I'm like, because this is what we had getting into this. This is what they was trying to say. He busted what all that time, and he was between the Intercontinental and the U.S. title. Like yes, the Intercontinental was his first one, and I believe, and I think it'll come out. Jericho probably said, "Let me get him over. let him pin me because that was the Jericho during that time, not necessarily focusing on himself.
Couldn't go through without bringing Jericho. Yeah,
I ain't did it in so long because he's so bad now. Let me have my moment with Jericho. Let me be a Jericho.
That's fine. That's fair. You can.
Yeah,
I get it.
So that's what I watched, and I would recommend just going to YouTube and search Kofi Kingston U.S. title or Kofi Kingston Intercontinental. It will not disappoint you.
That's what the heck I did. Brian H, what did you watch this week, sir? I did.
Actually, right now I got on King of the Ring 1999.
Really? I'd always take you as an early King of the Ring guy, not a late cat. Like I course 99, of course. That's your year. But I
was gonna throw on 94, but then for some reason 99, as I'm going through the gimmick of Peacock, I was like, I haven't watched that in a while. So like the 98 King of the Ring, especially doing the Book of Wrestling, I spent so much time on that Mick Foley match, so it's like I'm good on that. Like literally breaking down every part of Jim Ross's commentary. So I'm like, I'm good on that. But I was like 99. I mean, not that it should, but get a lot of love. But it's one of them nostalgic. This might be the second pay-per-view my Uncle Mike had slid over to me. That the first being the Royal Rumble 98. So that's what's on the television right now. And the second match, this is the open. No, second match, Kane versus Big Show.
Oh, okay. See, that's Brother Hughes got Kane.
He's gonna appear. Y'all better not do that. Remember, we said his name last night. He appeared.
That is true though. No, it's King of the Ring season. In 99, I don't know. King of the Ring was hot. Everything was hot in 99 as far as WWE was concerned. But that's a lot that we had to. It's obvious that we knew what week this is. We knew we were going into King of the Ring, and I mean it's almost a no-brainer to go back and get yourself reacclimated with some of our favorite King of the Ring moments, which brings us to tonight's show. At the end of the day, we got to get to this, right? We got to get
Wakanda forever.
King and Queen. But if you do not learn from the past, you are doomed to repeat it. So before we get to the meat and potatoes of the main event of tonight's show, which is the upcoming PLE King of the Ring, we're going to name a new king. We're going to name a new queen. Gentlemen, let's talk about some of these moments that we just discussed based off what we watched this week. And those who are listening, those who are watching live, put in the comments some of your favorite King of the Ring moments, winners, so on and so forth. But who wants to go first? King of the Ring. Look at, first of all, this isn't the whole list, but the graphic on its own is a representation of the time periods of all the major hitters. And even when they won, sometimes they all won this prestigious award at the time. They weren't necessarily top guys, main event guys closing the show, but it eventually put so many superstars on that fast trajectory to being a top guy one day. So, brothers, favorite King of the Ring winners, favorite King of the Ring moments. Somebody go. This is going to be fun.
So,
Brother Brandon, you have notes.
I was going to say, I'll just say the elephant in the room and just go ahead and get it out the way. King Booker. I mentioned it last night with the U.S. title. This was when he was the U.S. champion. He was proving not only to WWE, but to us as audience, I'm still that guy, and I'm going to show you I'm that guy. So then when he took this role of King Booker, and Brian, please fact check me if I'm right or wrong, he's the only one to take that King of the Ring moniker and win a world title with it while he was the king, while it was still fresh. Is that correct?
Well, technically, the moniker, yeah, but Brock was the guy who won the King of the Ring to put him in the match, and he beat The Rock. But we never deemed him King Brock. But
you see what I mean? That's why I said the moniker. He was the first. Yeah. Like everybody else had like a title shot every once in a while, but it was like, all right, you didn't do anything. But it was like that was the true. To me, this is what a king run should look like. Once you get the king, go for the title. If you have a title run. I think that was some of his best work outside of like his WCW run. It was just like, wow, this is interesting. So that was always going to stand out to me.
I have a question for you, brothers, based off that what you just said, brother Brandon. But go ahead, Brian H. Talk to the people. Your favorite King of the Ring former winners. Well, I'm gonna give you. Trust me, this is going. You're gonna love this, Brian H. How I tell this said because you guys ruined a lot of things for me. You and your boys over there at the book of wrestling. But go ahead. Which your favorite former King of the Ring winners, and then I'm gonna address brother guys King Booker.
I mean, my favorite one is got to be the most important one, and that's Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean,
nope. See, there we go. Brandon, did you listen to the Book of Wrestling? The thing. Okay, Brian H. worked on the Book of Wrestling. I don't know. I don't know what to say this when you first got to the ringer, but this was like
it was
correct.
Yeah,
this is one of the. Okay, so this was your first major.
What they brought me in for, brother.
Okay, cool. Okay, but go ahead, Brian, because I'm gonna speak on this.
No, but
brother Brandon, you have to go back and listen to the Book of Wrestling. It's gonna ruin everything about your wrestling childhood.
Okay,
the great binge watch. You know, now
it is
open up sores because now my DMs are gonna be flooded again. When is it coming back? I'm just sending it at David Shoemaker. Y'all can ask the questions there. But yeah, that's my favorite. Is Austin, but I'll say Brett from a child standpoint, right? Brett was probably my first, obviously it was like the first one in this type of tournament, and I was happy just because of the fact, he had just lost his WWF Championship to Yokozuna, and Hulk Hogan had to come save the day in one of the greatest WrestleManias, which was so great. They are returning.
You had to bring up Hogan in that first. He Jericho, and now you Hogan in that WrestleMania.
but the funny
talking about the greatest WrestleMania.
Yeah, the funniest thing about that whole thing was the fact that it was a consolation prize to Brett. You learn that he was mad, like told Hogan and Vince like they could stick it. But it was still a big deal because he was the top guy, and you established something. Who else better? Like, you could have put it on. I mean, Razor Ramon was the bad guy. He was a heel at the time. If you wanted to go, obviously they would go heels from there on out. But I really enjoyed Brett winning, and then Owen following up the next year with it.
Well, that was fun. Anything with the Hart brothers, I was down for. One, Bret Hart's my favorite wrestler of all time. Him and Shawn Michaels 1A1B. So if you ask me who's my favorite wrestler, and I'm referring to both of them, they're the same to me. Obviously, Bret Hart was it. Nothing else matters to me about King of the Ring winners outside of Bret Hart first. Now, I have a question. I'm gonna address Brandon. You're not off the hook, Brian H. I gotta ask you this too, brother Brandon. You talked about King Booker. Here's what I don't like, and I want to know what you guys think about it. Both you, Brian H. and brother Brandon. You guys notice that sometimes when somebody wins the King of the Ring, all of a sudden they have like a king gimmick that they kind of stick to. I'm like, come on, bro. You don't got to do that. Like, you won the King of the Ring. You don't got to be king whoever now. You know what I mean? I'll tell you honestly, and I don't mean no disrespect when I say this. I was not a Macho King fan. Yep, I said it. I was not a Macho King guy.
I wasn't either. You don't be ashamed of that. Go ahead, continue. You're on the right track.
I just want to make sure I'm not being disrespectful.
Nope, not at all.
I've always enjoyed Jerry King Lawler, but I don't like I'm the king now. King Booker took it and turned it into his own thing. Like everybody would do like this thing. But how do you guys feel about the winner eventually becoming like king something? Because Sheamus was like a Celtic king for a year. You know what I mean? Wade Barrett was a king for a year. And I'm like, do we have to
William Regal, it fit his gimmick because that's you would expect it. Yeah, but it's crazy because I'm gonna throw a curveball because Marcus from Four Sides of the Ring pointed out that he was King Corbin because Baron is already a title and he got elevated to king. I was like, I didn't even think about it like that. So it was like when he was King Corbin, nobody cared because then he became King Nakamura and they act like the crown had power or something. I was like,
don't disrespect Shinsuke. Don't do that.
You know of all people, I'm a Shinsuke guy. But when he was King Nakamura, I was like, why are we doing this?
It's the Vince era. See, this is what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? All of a sudden, you win King of the Ring. That's what we're gonna blame on everything. You win King of the Ring, and all of a sudden now you're the king of something. And I'm just like, all right, okay, get it, King of Strong style.
You could tell, as much as I hate being this guy, you could tell who was in the booking chair or who was doing things because look, 98. Yeah, nobody called. Well, you know, Stone Cold wasn't gonna wear it, right? You know,
Sure.
Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he wore it, but that was it. He didn't really stick to that because it was getting going to the whole DX thing. But like Ken Shamrock didn't wear it. Billy Gunn, who's actually going to get ready to have his first match on this show right now, he didn't wear it. Then there was
Edge and what you call it didn't wear it.
Kurt Angle did his thing, but yeah, he was King Kurt. It was cool.
He carried it, didn't he? He was carrying the Shawn.
Yeah, it was to propel him into, you know, the main event at SummerSlam. But even like, you know, Edge, no. Brock Lesnar, no. So I didn't hate it necessarily during the Wade Barrett's and the Sheamuses and all that, only because the main event picture was so like they wasn't Cena, they wasn't are we out of Punk yet? And those okay, so we into the pretty much like the Romans and the Seths and the Ambroses, like the Shield era esque, like they wasn't on those levels. So it made, I didn't necessarily hate it, but it's going to be interesting because when you look at who could be King of the Ring now, the way this tournament has been booked, not only because it has good matches, but just like looking at who's left, they won't be pigeonholed to the gimmick.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, even if Gunther wins, you're still going to take him seriously. You can come out with the robe and everything. You're still going to take him seriously as a world championship contender. Tama Tonga, he what I forgot what they call him at the bloodline. Basically like the hitter or something. Randy Orton is Randy Orton. He's untouchable. You know, for Zelina Vega, it made sense because she needed something, and then it did go to the tag titles, but she needed something.
Right. And I definitely get that. It does make sense, but I'm going to swerve back to the Book of Wrestling. Like you said, the most important.
You're right. Trump's daddy was a king. You're right, Dylan.
The most important. That's true. That's Haku. Yep.
He wasn't called him
as they say, the most important King of the Ring win in WWE history or in professional wrestling history at this point is Steve Austin winning in 97, 96. Yeah, because that was the year Triple H was supposed to win it, and they gave them the following year. Yes, in 90,
his punishment, right?
That was his year sentence for the curtain call, brother. And man, if you go back and you watch the Book of Wrestling, listen to the Book of Wrestling, man. They talk about this moment and they talk about how this started the Austin 316 era, such a controversial situation, only to find out that it was manufactured the entire time. It's because every time we hear this story, let's see, you see, brother guy. Every time we hear this story, it's always told as if the next night it was Austin 316 everywhere, and it wasn't. It was not. It was manufactured over a period of time, and that was the narrative that they created, and they injected that into professional wrestling history until we finally got
what is it? The Mandela effect? Well, we thought that was like instantly that was what it was, and we remember it that way.
That's exactly what it was. So shout out to Rod H and his crew and Shoemaker and the Book of Wrestling for educating us on what really went down as far as the King of the Ring.
But you know what's
and the next night there were signs everywhere. Go back and watch the next night of Raw.
Signs everywhere.
Austin Job, I don't want to say Job, but he lost to a WWE champion, Undertaker.
And let me ask y'all this about the King of the Ring, because I was thinking about this in my notes, right? We always talk about the big four, right?
Yes.
Somebody wins the Rumble. We know that they go on to do that for Mania, right? SummerSlam, just the biggest party of the summer. As you might as well say WrestleMania the sequel, but WrestleMania and the Heat, right? Survivor Series, almost like bragging rights or finishing some team. This is what we're going to get to the good feel good movement.
The holiday season pay-per-view.
Right. So when you think about the King of the Ring, as much as a gimmick it has been, has it been a gimmick to try to test? Because I don't want to put you in the Rumble winner. I can't put you in the main event of SummerSlam yet. I want to see if I can. Is this like the pit stop to it? because it feels like as much as a gimmick it was always like, okay, can we do something with this person? They'd have had mid-card titles, they'd have had this, but can we do something? Because Mabel, they saw it failed. Regal was just there. But like Kurt Angle, Edge, Brock Lesnar, that was yes, these are the next people that we can do this. You get what I'm saying? Sure. So does this feel like this might be the direction we're going back to now? Because look at the tournament.
It's a good question. Brownish, what do you think?
You saying, do you think is this like a test run?
Not necessarily like with this gimmick. Will this be like, all right, we have Money in the Bank in our modern era now, right? We know whoever has the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the Royal Rumble winner, the main event Mania, right? But we know at any time this is the person that they could lose every single match, still become world champion. They could just fade from TV, still become world champion because they've been identified as that person when the moment's right. Is the King of the Ring like this gimmick now? Because we've seen shades of it in this history where it was the right person. Then we seen shade was like, oh, this ain't the right person. Forget it. You get what I'm saying? Like, so is this do you think this is we're going back to that time frame?
I don't know. I think right now, because like I said, with this one, it was like, this is the best set of matches that we've had in a long time. Like, you don't talk about most of the time the actual matches. So I think this actually feels like a real like king of a king of the ring. Like, I'm the best wrestler.
Like so a legitimate tournament.
Yeah.
It I get some stakes in it. It's stakes.
It feels more legit than it's been before.
Okay. No, but do you think this is the test to see, can I make this, like, all right, so let's say Gunther wins, right?
Gunther.
Do I want to see him more as world champion because he got the King moniker? Or is this going to be the thing that I'm going to keep adding the accolades? So when he does, look what this man has done.
Yeah,
versus the Tama Tonga, where you got Solo the Enforcer, right? Now you got him, the King of the Ring. Huh?
We call him the weekday, not the weekend. You know,
the weekday. Yeah, the weekday. That was, but you get what I'm saying.
That's
like,
why they don't want to bring in freaking Jacob Fatu, because he walk around looking like the weekday. Like, man, he gonna burn him out. Like, man, make Jacob the leader. Sorry, I mean that's rugby, but the weekday.
But if he gets it, imagine what that will do to his. Because they're all about the stats.
Yeah,
it'll be that now we can insert him because we're putting this behind him to add some more to him.
I don't know, man. I
can see it going both ways. Go ahead, Brian H.
Yeah. I don't. I don't want to. I guess I don't want to overthink it. You know what I mean?
Because it's the Triple H era.
Yeah. We get a headache trying to overthink him.
Yeah, because let's be honest. We could have had that last year when Zelina and
2 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Wait, actually, yeah.
Because she went. Yeah, because she wasn't Queen Zelina anymore when she went to Backlash, and Backlash was last year.
Right.
2 years ago. With Kofi, not Kofi. Xavier Woods.
And that was just a dream.
Yeah, but we could have did more. Like, I think in the Triple H era, if they would have won, we would have definitely seen them in a title picture or a title program because of this moniker.
Yeah,
that's a great segue. See, this is why you brothers are who you are, because that is going to lead us almost into our good for business, bad for business. Once again, this is another segment we do every week called Good for Business, Bad for Business. Now, usually we take a moment, we take a superstar, we take something that happens in the industry or the business or on TV, and we decide, is this good for business or bad for business? Now, that business could be entertainment to the company, the superstar, whatever. It's an open field. But you kind of brought it up, Brother Brandon, as we continue the conversation about King of the Ring. I have a question for you brothers again to build on this, because what you said is, I see how Triple H likes tournaments and he's putting value on it. Just the presentation of it all, right? They have legitimate crowns. They're not like gimmick crowns. They're not like costumes. Like, they had like these diamond looking encrusted crowns for the men and the women. I'm like, And like you both said, the buildup and the type of matches that they're putting on, like it's very competitive. Now we know Vince McMahon didn't like tournaments, but so it was a gimmick to him. And in a lot of times it was a consolation prize for you're doing a good job, you're getting over. I can't really make you a champion right now, but I can at least give you a shot at King of the Ring. Right? Look at Woods. Woods cut a promo. I never wanted to be a champion, and I don't think that's necessarily true. But he's like, but this is what really meant something to me. It's being King of the Ring. This is something I knew I could attain.
Ken Shamrock in the Attitude Era.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of when it was a thing. You know what I mean? And like from then on, because think about that era, wrestling was so hot, you didn't need King of the Ring. You know what I mean? You could have done. We had first of all, we had a hardcore championship. Like, come on now, they took one of my favorite championships, if not my favorite, and they grinded it up, put tape on it, and they gave it to Mick Foley, and him and Boss Man got the fighting and slugging it out for it. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, they didn't need King of the Ring. That's just this. You had the Rock and Stone Cold and everybody else in between. So from that era on up. Vince already didn't like tournaments as it is. It was a gimmick for him. Let's call it was. And to me, it was a consolation prize. But there were rumors at one point that there was supposed to be like a championship belt. Maybe not necessarily like a belt to be defended, but a championship as almost like a trophy. Kind of like what Braun Strowman got when he won the world's greatest.
The greatest Royal Rumble.
And that belt, I actually liked the championship. Like everybody dissed. I said, bro, that belt is actually gorgeous. It was green.
Yeah,
I like the idea.
Did like it was different. Yeah, it was different. I was like, oh.
And it reminded me of the belt. I don't know if you remember this, Brother Brandon or Brother Brian. Let me see if you guys, how far back you guys can go. There was a green championship that they had in WWE Magazine called Jerk of the Month. And literally it was whoever they thought was the Jerk of the Month or the Jerk. Half the time Daniel Bryan had it. They would give this belt to you, and they would be in this magazine posing with, and I was like, oh, this is a good looking belt, even though it wasn't a real thing, but it was a trophy. You know what I mean?
Have to bring up magazines.
Sorry, Brian H. Oh, shoot, my fault. Bad timing, terrible timing. My bad.
No, you gotta say right. Bad timing.
Bad timing. Sorry. them joints. You probably had never mind. You probably had a couple of those magazines.
I did. There was them posters.
I might have found us out by your magazines. Sorry.
Some of the posters from the old set.
Yeah, sorry.
I reopened the subscription just so we could switch out posters.
Yeah, sorry. We gotta go eBay, get you some more magazines, man. But I'll check Macari and eBay, get you some new magazines. But they had.
I'm pretty sure I have a tote of some magazines.
There you go.
Find them. You can have all of them. The WWE ones.
Please find them.
You can have all of them.
We'll explain to you later at Realm After Dark what that's about. It's funny now, but you got to laugh to keep from crying sometimes. That's hurtful. Anyways, they had this belt Jerk of the Month, and I was like, it was it wasn't a real belt to be, but it was a gimmick thing. Same thing with what they gave Braun when he won. Did you guys feel like that the King of the Ring should have had that championship? I don't have an image of it right now, but there was an image going around with a King of the Ring championship belt. Like it was, like a brick of a castle.
It looked like a castle and a crown mixed together.
Yeah. And it said King of the Ring. Like, maybe not to be defended, but this is a legitimate gimmick. You hold it for an entire year, and then it goes up, for grabs on King of the Ring. Did you guys feel like a championship belt would have helped? Or do you feel like the crown and the scepter and the idea of being king of something, or no pun intended, king of the ring was good enough?
I think the King of the Ring is good enough.
Okay.
It's got to be different. Like the Grammy Awards, you got to be different. It's like when you do y'all follow Belt Records on Instagram?
No, but it sounds like something I need to follow.
Yeah, so basically what they'll do is they'll post say they post a picture of Roman, they'll post all his accomplishments. It'll be like every championship.
Oh, those people that's on I see them on Facebook all the time with all those. That's who they are. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't never seen them on the book. So yeah, that's dope that they did too. But like it, and say if it's like somebody who had the winged eagle and the big eagle, like say like Stone Cold, they'll have every one of them. And then what's also cool is when they make you do like every day, they might like guess the wrestler and they'll just put like a bunch of belts, but they also might throw in the Royal Rumble logo, but they'll throw in the King of the Ring or the Money in the Bank briefcase. So I think it being separate.
That was the one I said, and they said Dominic Mysterio in like 2040, and one of his biggest accomplishments was Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Remember that? They were the ones that did that. Remember, I put it in the group.
Yeah. Dom denied everything. We asked him the Streets of Stars about the Kaz. Kaz asked him, and he was like, "Man, I don't know. Did she wear a bandana? He's I'm just trying to make sure take care till mommy gets back. So
nah, I see. Yeah, dirty Dom Dom's being a little dirty. It's being a little dirt ball.
But let me answer your question, realness, because this will go hit home.
Here we go.
I don't know if the belt would have helped or hurt because think about MCW Shamrock Cup, right? Okay. They have retired the cruiser. No, they have retired the cruiserweight belt, right? And they had a trophy. You only saw it the night of the actual Shamrock Cup.
Okay, right.
And then remember the point was then they attached the actual cruiser. What's wrong?
No, when they slapped the ring at the end of the match.
They all bring it out, right? But then remember they started for a brief period of time when we used to go to MCW, the Cruiserweight Championship was on the line too. Not the one that Shane Shamrock held, it was the actual one. Right. So then fast forward, recently they've created that belt, but the person just holds it all year, and it's like you're a champion for no reason.
It's a trophy. You don't like trophy championships?
Well, this is why.
Like the Owen Hart.
That's what I was getting to. Like, yay, I won the tournament, and then you don't see the belt anymore. Yeah, but why? But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that hurts it because it's not like I'm gonna do option C and cash it in, like in TNA. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I that's why I said I don't know if it helps or hurt because I feel like when MCW was doing just that night, and then it will be on display for you to see it at any time. And when anybody will come to MCW, you're like, well, what's that for? Then when you hear the story of it, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Or like, say, if you want to take a picture with it, you can see the past winners. It's a thing like right now, look how silly it is when they keep bringing the Heritage Cup down because we don't know the backstory or the lineage of it. But instead of making a belt, they did something different. But for this tournament, that's only that one night that they crown that person, like the Owen Hart thing. All right, yay, they got the belt for a day because think about it. Do you remember Willow winning the Owen Hart tournament?
No more.
Do you remember Britt Baker? What did it do for their career?
Adam got her and Adam Cole got the matching on stage.
Yeah, because that's what Tony Khan wanted. He was playing with his toys. But you get what I'm saying? So, like now, it didn't do anything. So
Canadian Stampede Championship looking belts.
So I don't know if the belt was cool. Maybe if you awarded it to the person, and then when they do like documentaries, they're like, "Oh, this is when I won King of the Ring," because that is kind of cool when you see the wrestlers have that belts that they won.
Instead of giving you a ring or a trophy, we'll give you a championship belt as the trophy. But you guys aren't sold on that. But let me take it a step further because that's what the Wrestling Room does. That's actually a great segue, and I'm glad you mentioned all this stuff, brother Guy and brother Brian, is because now I'm going to ask you something that I feel like it's a conversation that we wrestling fans quietly have. But of course, we're going to bring it to the forefront. This week's segment for Good for Business, Bad for Business. Bam. Do you believe that the King of the Ring winner should be entitled to a title shot because they won King of the Ring? Maybe not necessarily the World Championship or WWE Championship, but some type of title shot. Do you think that helps with the prestige of the tournament going forward? Now, no, get me wrong, we're kind of booking ahead now because we're talking about the Triple H era. We're not talking about the way it was before, but we're talking about the level. We're talking about the level of importance that it plays in the new era of WWE. So, like from here on out, King of the Ring is going to be a thing. King of the Ring is going to be something that people are like, I need to win this, and you can tell because you have heavy hitters in the tournament this year. It's not just like throwaway guys. So it's, you know what I mean? And I don't mean throwaway guys as if that's what they are, but
I know
if that's how.
No, you didn't know who was going to win. It wasn't predictable, and like in the past, you knew who was going to win. This had some stake in it. They were like, "Oh, who's going to win?"
Like in the fight, like we have Tama Tonga and Randy Orton in the semifinals. Gunther took out freaking Jey Uso. Like I said, that was a big deal. Jey Uso was, if you ask me who was up next to be at least King of the Ring, I would say Jey Uso, but I'm also thinking under the mindset of what I've been groomed into thinking. This is a consolation prize. Can't make you a champion, can't make you the top guy, but you're one of the biggest baby faces. Let's give you something. But you know what I mean? But we're not in that mind frame anymore. So like I gotta reprogram myself. And you see like Gunther, he's on his way. Like he is racking up, like he's like Thanos. Sorry, Brian H. He's just grabbing stones along the way. And once he puts it all together, he's gonna snap his fingers and it's gonna be like, all right, this is my world now. Like I'm fearful for a Gunther as world champion. He's going. We watched him hold the IC title with prestige for 1,000 days, and I'm making this up. I don't know the exact number, 600 and whatever days it was.
666.
There you go. Devil numbers.
But with that question, Dwayne, is if I'm a Raw superstar and I win, does that mean I get the world title? If I'm a SmackDown superstar and I win, I get the WWE one.
Well, this is the conversation that we're having. King of the Ring is not brand based, right? If we're talking under the new rules, right? There are no rules. Like the Good Brothers, shout out to them. They showed up on NXT again, take out the NXT Tag Team Champions, but they're SmackDown superstars. But they do whatever they want to do. So if they want to go to NXT and rough up some young boys and take their championships and go to Vegas because that's what they do, they say, wait a minute, we can win championships and go to Vegas. So they decided to ransack NXT and beat up the tag champions. Now they're SmackDown superstars. There's no rules to it, right? So if I'm a SmackDown superstar and I look at Gunther and say, you know what, I want your title, I can have a match with you. It doesn't necessarily, if I beat you and I win, okay, I become Raw's new champion. But if I lose, I go back to SmackDown. So we're looking at the wild, wild west of possibilities. So it's like, okay, cool. Does winning the King of the Ring entitle superstars to at least some sort of title shot? Does that help build up the gimmick of it all?
I like this. I like where you're going with this. I'll say before Money in the Bank, yes. Now, because of the placement of Money in the Bank, I don't necessarily like the idea, just because it's like, you know, Money in the Bank kind of leads us into SummerSlam, even though there's not always a guaranteed cash in. But I feel like it's too many. So let's go back to like video games, right? Were we talking late Attitude Era, early Ruthless Aggression Era? Whenever I would do like King of the Ring, if you won the King of the Ring, you had the title match at SummerSlam.
Right.
Because I love the concept when it worked for Kurt Angle, for Brock Lesnar. Some reason it, it obviously makes sense. It didn't work with Edge. But so I would like that normally, just because SummerSlam is like, all right, Royal Rumble is kind of like right smack in the middle of the winter, right? But then WrestleMania is the end. It means the beginning of spring. King of the Ring, I used to always. It's funny. Me and my god brother was actually just talking about this. I think last week. King of the Ring was always the beginning of the summer, and SummerSlam was the end of the summer. Like King of the Ring was the first pay-per-view after school was over. Like school might have ended, like say Friday. King of the Ring was that Sunday. And then on SummerSlam was usually like the last pay-per-view. Then you went to school. So that's why they call it the biggest part of summer. So I would like that idea, but I don't like it now unless you reshuffle things.
All right, fair enough. And that does make a lot of sense. And of course, that's always a topic of conversation when you look at where Money in the Bank is placed in terms of, what's the point? You know what I mean?
And honestly, too, I think because it could make sense this year. Right now, the title picture is so heavy, right?
Okay.
So, let's just say all right, you know what? Let's switch it up because everybody keep talking Gunther, right? Let's say Randy win it.
Okay, Randy O.
It makes sense. Randy and Cody at SummerSlam. Cody needs.
True.
We
do have a brand split.
Huh?
Think about it. Like we have a brand split.
Yeah, we got a brand split.
So even if somebody does win Money in the Bank, they can only cash in on one world champion. What about the other world champion?
Yeah. And then if Nia Jax, who's my pick, wins, her versus Bayley.
True.
So now think about it. Yeah, I would like that. I would like it.
Yes, you got him to flip.
Yeah, because like at first I'm thinking that's too many titles. But I mean, why not? Why not? You subconsciously, because I mean, well, if I'm booking, both of the women's winners are going to be on SmackDown because Tiffany Stratton would be the Money in the Bank briefcase. She just wouldn't cash in no time soon.
Put the rocket on. There you go.
I got to see that. I got to see that, and this, I got to see that pink briefcase for at least 4 or 5 months, and we know like EO cashing in was the first time a woman didn't cash in since Carmella on the same night.
Right. Okay.
Well, Oscar the next day, but
you
they
remember,
always catch the same night.
The women's Money in the Bank is still also a relatively new concept as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the problem, right? Because we never got a chance to get used to seeing them with the briefcase. Where the men, Edge had it almost a whole year, and then everybody else would hold it for a while. But for some reason, it was like, why the women? Everybody got cash in the same night. Now, granted, Liv Morgan did it; it was a pop.
Bailey did it; it was a shocker.
Yeah, so it worked. But at the same time, it's like, no, let's see him with the briefcase.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, brother Brandon?
I'm gonna say,
see what I did there?
Yeah, I said, I'm out. It's bad for business because, in my mind, kind of close to what Hollywood was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's too close to Money in the Bank if that's a guaranteed title shot, because it's too many ways to get to the title in this WWE period. You can be a number one contender. What's the purpose of me winning the King of the Ring, getting the title shot versus Brian, who was in a fatal 4-way and is now the number one contender, or Dwayne being in a fatal 4-way and now he's the number one contender? So I went through all of these gruesome matches, won this pay-per-view. It might not even be the main event, but I won the King of the Ring tournament just to get a title shot when 3 weeks ago, Jey Uso just pinned one person and he was got a world title shot.
But what about the brand splits? Did the brand splits play a part in that way of thinking? Because like I said, you're still, regardless, if like when you say a title shot, but we have 2 world champions, does that make a difference, or do you still feel like regardless, it's just the way that it is?
I think if you're going to do it that way, they will get, because if you say a title of your choosing, that's just like Money in the Bank.
Think about it.
If you say title of your choosing, that's like Royal Rumble.
It's not like a Raw Money in the Bank and a SmackDown Money in the Bank. Which they used to do, I think maybe once or twice. They had the red and the blue briefcase. It's literally one Money in the Bank. You have Raw guys, you have SmackDown guys, and it's one match. And then somebody's going home. And then think about it. One world champion is off the hook.
No, what I'm saying is it's a different time. So think about it.
Okay.
Nobody has the Money in the Bank now. So if I win this and I get a title shot now, I'm going to be able to choose which one. So that's just like when I win Money in the Bank, I get to choose. Okay. Just like Royal Rumble, I get to choose. So it's like, okay, I got 3 different ways to get to the title, but in between, to get the Backlash, the B-level PLE, I just got to beat one match, and now I'm going on. So to me, I'm like, what's the stake in it? It needs to be something unique, because remember, when people win Money in the Bank, we're excited like they won a title. We're like, yes, this we won it. Or we're mad like, we didn't want Austin Theory to win that. Why did he win that? You get what I'm saying? But when it comes to the Royal Rumble, we're like, yay, this person won it, or why did they win it? Like, think about the feeling when Bianca or Rhea won the Royal Rumble. We were ecstatic, like they won the title, because we knew they're going to main event Mania. With King of the Ring, what's going to be my oomph to make me set it apart differently? Is it going to be I got a guaranteed title shot at SummerSlam in the main event for a title of my choosing? So that way it's
like, you got to make a choice by SummerSlam. You don't get to hold on to it like Money in the Bank for as long as you want to.
Because then when you do that with Money in the Bank, like I got, if I win Rumble, I'm going to Mania main event. I win King of the Ring, I'm going to SummerSlam. If I win Money in the Bank, I could ruin Brian H's SummerSlam by cashing in that night and taking the title from it.
True.
You know what I mean? Like you it's got to be a different stake it's something different. So if the winner of King of the Ring gets a title shot of their choosing, because who's to say it won't be a monkey wrench where, I want the NXT title. You never know. We could be looking at that next year. We could be.
I'm okay with it, but I get it though. You're right.
Well, that trip.
I
don't think they would do it this year. I'm just saying, like this. Year,
like, I just got this bill.
They didn't say what the King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring gets, did they? Because
no, that's what I said. It's like this is the conversation, right? We're talking about like, is the crown itself good enough? Like,
wait, have you seen those crowns though?
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. Though. Like they're trying to make it seem like being King of the Ring is good enough. It's something. It counts as almost a title. Versus it seemed like King of the Ring is a stepping stone to something we really want. You know what I mean? And we're trying to decipher this new era, but I definitely
back in the day, Jim Ross would say, this sets you up. Him and Michael Cole, they would let you know, like, Guys who won the King of the Ring have went on, look at guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like Hunter Hearst Helmsley. They went on to become world champions. So
that list got real short after those guys, though.
Because you had the Shamrocks and the Edges, and when I say Edge, we not gonna act like that's the same Edge. Like I'm looking at
he
him,
was nowhere near,
right?
Like,
he was more he was entertaining. He was fun loving. He wasn't the gritty rated R.
That's it.
Yeah, he wasn't rated R.
Right. That was the first main event gimmick. I don't care what nobody says. Like,
I'm out the Rango. But 95. Take me to the home kick boots that I'm just love. Sorry, just had a moment. That was that Edge. Never gonna stop me. Okay.
No, it's
funny story. Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys at King of the Ring 99. But
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you're not worried about King of the Ring when you got that match with Gangrel versus the Hardy Boys with Michael P.S. Hayes. Oh, see? That's the problem, though, because King of the Ring became just a pay-per-view name, not an actual thing. Like,
this is the last one with a long tournament.
Sure.
99, because 2000, like you said, by then it was just maybe 2 matches.
Right.
The semifinals and the finals, or just the finals, like Brandon mentioned earlier. That's I wasn't a fan. I wanted to see I wanted to see the whole tournament. Well, not the whole tournament, but I like the idea of them having multiple matches. But what we know now and protecting the wrestlers and all that, I can understand why they didn't. But I always thought, to me, that was cool watching Bret Hart win all 3 matches without using the sharpshooter. That match with Mr. Perfect was one of his best matches. And Perfect had a bad back.
Yeah. And that was when Bret Hart no, we're not getting to that because we'll be here for 6 hours talking about Bret Hart. But you're absolutely right. Mr. Perfect did the right thing. As Kurt Hennig, he made sure he did the honors for the Hitman. But it brings us to today. We have this year's King and Queen of the Ring. Like I said, they've taken it across the water in
nice. They got a link for the crowns.
The King. I tried to upload the images of the crowns, but for some reason the files was too big. I couldn't get it. But I had them. I don't know why it wouldn't work. But the Kingdom of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So we know it's going to be very, very regal, very prestigious, very a lot of money. That Middle Eastern money.
Did you say very a lot of money?
Very a lot of money. So that's it's very a lot of money. So
Logan Paul's playground.
Listen, he gonna be out there on dunes, living it up.
They love him over there.
Do they really?
Yeah, think about it. He had both his title shots. He won the United States title over there.
I forgot he won that title over there.
Yeah, they said whatever you do, bring Logan Paul. We love him over here. Everybody's got their cell phone. But so you have this year's PR. Are you guys looking forward first and foremost to this year's King and Queen of the Ring PL League? We're gonna go over a few of the matches, and then we're gonna get ready to wrap this up, man. Look, we're losing for the Brandon. He's yawning like it's not. He just a wind just blew through the window.
God, forever. We're not gonna talk about the graphic. Okay.
Listen, man. We're celebrating our African hood with all these.
We got our Africans in there. We got Bianca. We got Jade. We got Cody. We good.
Kofi Raheem Rhodes.
Listen. Sammy's Syrian, so his wife's name is Khadija. Threw me off. I said, what?
Is she really? That's her name.
I don't know if that's her Islam name. Because he's Muslim, but I was like, okay.
Sammy's such a nice guy.
Sammy's a dude, man. Sammy's.
I got lost. He was like, "Well, let me help you out." I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You know that it was Martin.
Yeah.
Does the run tell that?
Yep.
He's like, joke I'm going with. He was like, yeah, you call a black person with the wrong number. He's like, oh, sorry, don't click up. Says you call a white person. They be like, oh,
that wasn't Martin. That was Cat Williams.
It was Cat Williams.
Yeah, because he said, "Oh, let me help you figure it out. Let me help you. I'll help you.
Cat Williams.
Did you dial a 2 or a 4? Let's get this together."
Yo, that's Sami Zayn. Like I witnessed that in the flesh.
You're gonna say what Russell was there that didn't help you out?
Yeah, who didn't help you?
They was talking. Seth Rollins like he kind of had that look like get out of here. He didn't say that, but that was the kind of look.
Oh, if looks could speak, but I'm sure he would love to be on this PLE. But we have King and Queen of the Ring. We have
wait, who?
Seth
Rollins. Seth Rollins would love to be in this match. Like, come on now. We have Logan Paul versus
the beach.
Yeah, we have Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. You know, we got a champion.
Cody Raheem Rhodes.
We have Becky Lynch, obviously, versus Liv Morgan. You know, she wants to get her comeuppance. Like as I mentioned, Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes. Not to mention, we have where's the other one I had? I think I'm missing one. But yeah, we'll start here though. And obviously we have the Intercontinental Championship match with Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, and Chad Gable. So I'm going to ask you guys does Chad Gable finally get the job done? First of all, I don't think there's no way in the world that Sami Zayn loses in the Middle East, but come on now. But this is the opportunity. I don't know if it's you, Brother Brandon, but I know a lot of fans have been fussing about why Chad Gable should have been the guy. You know, not the guy, but just the guy. You know, they felt like he should have been up next with the matches he had, the encounters he had with Gunther going forward. And then Sami still had a run left in him. They owed him one from his work with the Bloodline and him getting over in the way he was doing things. But we have a triple threat match with Bronson Reed, some young legs, and Chad Gable's not really young anymore. He's a grizzled vet, and of course Sami Zayn. Once again, that's another graphic that I tried to put up. It was too large, and I don't know how that worked out. But do you guys think that Chad Gable gets the job done, or does Sami retain against Bronson Reed and Chad Gable?
I think he retains.
All right,
I don't think he drops it. I don't like. They keep foreshadowing this new Alpha Academy. I think they try to. If Otis is going to cause him to not win, and that's going to start a feud with them, to have the Alpha Academy implode, for him to bring the Creed brothers in, to have what we as fans been wanting.
Guys now.
Huh?
The good guys now, though. Creed brothers.
You sure about that? Remember, NXT, they flip-flopped every other week, it seemed like.
Yeah, well, that's also true.
Yeah, so I just think that Bronson, because he keeps saying by any means necessary, inadvertently is going to cause him the belt.
All right. Fair enough. Let's get to the ladies real quick. Becky Lynch. She has to carry the flag. We had an injury go down. Who do you call? You call your main event funkies. The ones who come in and they make things happen for you, regardless whether they're in or whether they're out. Becky Lynch, does she retain the women's world heavyweight? Well, I guess women's world championship against Liv Morgan. Now, Liv Morgan, we just talked about her a second ago. She's been up to no good. She has flipped. She has staked her claim, and she made her intentions very clear. Did they finally pull the trigger and let Becky go home and relax for a little bit?
I think you got enough. I think you got enough stake in it.
You know what it's going to lead to.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to get us to her and Rhea back there. I think you do have enough. Becky. It's hard to predict against Becky, though.
Yeah, it is.
Like
she
is
popular.
Yeah, right now she's on with like John Cena levels.
She definitely is.
Where it's like she. So I'm gonna go with Becky, but I hope that I'm wrong.
All right, that's cool. Brother guy, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan. How you feeling?
I'm gonna go with Liv only because I think Becky needs, quote unquote, her break.
That's what I'm thinking.
But Liv got. I mean, did we realize that Sonya Deville came back? Did we realize that you still got Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler out there making waves still? I think that Triple H has a moment that, okay, we got our big star back, right? But if Liv is there, how do we either spin Liv back to the oh my god we care about her type of deal, or how do we make her even more disastrous that when mommy comes back she can just destroy her? It'd be the one that can actually take it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I kind of want to see Liv with it only because I feel like it'll be more story if Liv has it than Becky.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards a little bit, kind of. Yeah.
Because think about it, we've seen Becky. Like Becky needs her break, but she is John Cena level, so
she also understands this business. Like, look, if I leave, I might not get another shot at this by the time I get back.
But when she comes back, remember, she's still gonna find a way on pay-per-views and on TV and main event Raws. She's still gonna be there.
But to be the champion, to be the man, like by the time she may come back, how many times do we see somebody that's hot, Seth Rollins, and they come by the time they get back, somebody else is like, bro, now you gotta wait because we didn't somebody else then came up in the ranks and now we gotta roll with that.
Good boy.
What I mean? So I don't know. It's interesting to see. It's going to be a fun match between the two. I think Liv Morgan. I think if she's smart, but I think this is a chance for her to really like take that next step into the upper echelon of professional wrestlers in the industry, especially where she stands and kind of where she is now. But I'm looking forward to it. And before we get into our final picks of, I'm sure there's plenty of other matches that have not been announced. There's some other things going on. But we're getting to the meat and potatoes of that, and that conversation will continue on social media. But of course, we got Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. I don't know what these guys are going to go out there and do, but Logan Paul has not disappointed me yet, and we have the big white meat baby face and Captain America Cody Rhodes. What do you guys expected from this match? I think we know this is not meant to be a thing. This is a showcase. Like, you got to know the difference between a showcase and like there you go, a contest. Right. Like Roman Cody was a contest. It's going to be hard to follow that, is because there's Batman and then there's Joker. You know what I mean? There's Superman and then there's
Lex Luthor.
Yes, Captain Baldhead. I hate Lex Luthor. Right, so the Roman Reigns will always be that to Cody Rhodes, and it's going to be hard for Cody Rhodes. Like, we got to make new bad guys for Cody Rhodes so he can have meaningful feuds, because that first one was so ridiculously massive that it changed the industry. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard. That's why people are kind of calling his run so far stale. Like, bro, he's just getting started, but you know, you got to create new monsters along the way. Like, you got to create new stars. You need new villains, and then right now, one of the most popular villains is this young upstart, this talented superstar in Logan Paul. What are you guys expecting to see from this match at King and Queen of the Ring?
Well, I don't think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a good match, but I think we're gonna have to see Cody kind of go to dig a little bit deeper, because Logan Paul always got that one lucky punch,
and then with young legs too, athletic, young.
And that's the thing. I think what does he say? Giving up 10 years.
Yeah.
Plus,
it's crazy to think.
Because but I actually think it's gonna be a solid match. I think this is gonna be one of those things where Cody probably gonna shake his hand afterwards. I would love to see him shake his hand after he beat him and then Logan Paul knock him out. Maybe just to continue it a little bit.
Champion at the end of the match like that, they can look weak in front of everybody.
How's it make him look weak? If he beat him,
he's got to beat him. He can't let him get the best of him.
I'm saying he beats him. He showed respect. Logan Paul just catch him. He sucker punch him.
Right. So then you have your top guy in the company laid out, and like, okay, he beat him, but now he's knocked out of what you call it. Roman will be back next week.
I mean, they already called it for it. But no, in all seriousness, because we know that's not gonna happen.
Sure.
But in all seriousness, I think it's actually gonna be a good, solid match. I mean, I haven't been before Cody Rhodes run, before his WWE run. The only Cody Rhodes match that I was like invested in, wasn't disappointed in.
Say it.
Not including his brother. Right? I'm not, because that's not even fair. Sure. That was the best match he had ever had to me, because I was like, finally. But before that was when he beat Nick Aldis for the NWA title. Because
the original All In.
So invested in the story, and the match was solid enough to deliver. But then now But then even with the AEW, the matches, they were okay, you know. But he come back to WWE, he's working with Seth Rollins, he's working with Shinsuke Nakamura, Brock Lesnar, Miz on Raw, whomever, and he was just putting on better matches, you know.
Whoa. Really said it doesn't matter if he's laid out.
My father said when I was younger, hard times breed better men.
What about your brother guy? What are you expecting from Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins?
This is what I'm expecting.
Let me see. Y'all think somebody's debut? Something is.
I think this is going to be the way to protect both of them. That this, I don't want to say distracts the match, but this causes some kind of weird finish because it started with it's title versus title. I was like, we about to do 2 belts, Cody. The real American look. He got the U.S. title. He already
it worked for Seth Rollins, god dang it.
Yeah. So
before he tried to kill Sting.
Yes. But I don't. Logan has so many people that keep coming around. Like I'm like, okay, how many people are in his entourage? I don't know much about Logan Paul, but there's somebody named Broccoli Head.
Bro, he has like an endless amount of streaming buddies.
Yes, that keeps popping up.
So
I think they're going to show up, and the Wyatt family is going to be and it's going to leave all of them confused for Cody to hit the crossroads to be able to say, okay, I won to keep his title.
Okay.
And I think they're going to mess with Logan Paul to get them into the, oh my God, look who it is. Who is this? What? They're taking them out.
The Wyatt family coming after Cody?
No, they're going to come after Logan Paul because they have all the minions. All his minions will be there trying to stop Cody because remember, part of his story was the interference. So now Logan is known for his interference too. So why not have them neutralize that? And it's a shock factor because they're on SmackDown, aren't they? Isn't that how
I think they were? We don't know, but you know, there was somewhere that he appeared on Raw
in the audience. I thought it was on SmackDown. They were in the audience.
It was like when Jey Uso came out because that's what I think they're coming after.
Yeah, I think.
You think it's Jey?
I think Jey didn't tweet what he tweeted back.
Oh, okay. Well, I changed my vote.
Design. And I was like, Jay, you tweet for real. What are you putting us out there for, by the way? So that's a little suspicious if you ask me.
We ain't never heard Jey Uso talk about a relationship with Bray Wyatt.
God dang it. Okay. I don't know.
That's how I felt last night on Championship Culture when you talk about the United States Championship match that era with us. So now you stuck to. Welcome to the club, buddy.
Because Logan's not going to win. And if he does, it'll be you talking about the biggest shockwave.
Sure.
I would love for it to happen.
So we all know the real question. The real wrestling realm, superior wrestling intellect is how's this match? What's the finish going to be? That's the question. We're looking like, all right, we know what's going down. Now, what's the finish?
World's dumbest finisher.
He gonna go punch him with the brass knucks. Cody gonna turn it into a crossroads and pin, so the music can play 13 times. 3 of them.
Logan,
no, 3 is just for Roman. He ain't hit nobody. No, he hit what you call it with 3. No, he hit Brock, didn't he? With a couple.
Yeah.
Oof.
He shouldn't have to hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's different. I mean, see that we don't know the objectives of the match. Is he here to put Logan Paul over? And when I mean put him over, like you could put somebody over without losing to him. You know what I mean? You know, he's going to be crying at the press, like, man, I wouldn't prepare for that. He just took me to my limits, and I
had to take him out.
He's going to be like, the person I was in the ring really is something I've never experienced before. And I'm so glad that I can be the champion to be able to say, I got to keep stepping my game up because the talent here is amazing. I mean, you saw what he did in there. You saw what he did. That's good. That's how Cody beat the pressers. That's how he beat the pressers. Putting people over. So yeah, like I said, we don't have time to sit there and dissect the finish of it all. Fresh fooling around with Triple H. But we got to wrap this up. We're getting out.
But let me ask you this before we get out of there. What's next then? Cody wins. Who's next?
See, that's
because this came out of left field,
bro. This is what I'm trying to say though, because sometimes let's talk about the Triple H era. This is why I didn't want to get into this conversation. We know that Triple H he uses the show to set up the next story. It's not about the matches, right? Sometimes the matches are the matches, but the overarching like structure of the show sometimes sets up the next story. You know what I mean? So like in this situation, we may say this match may not be about who's going to win. We may not figure out what that is because this match may not be about who's better, Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul. Who's going to win this match? No, that might be the reason why we're going into this match. That's the objective. This is why we're here. Now, while we're here, something else may transpire that leads us to the next story.
Cody, oh my gosh!
You see what I'm saying?
God, Tama Tonga is going to win the King of the Ring. They're going to help Cody keep the belt because they want the belt from Cody.
Hey, look,
that would be great, but I don't. Oof.
You think they would pull the trick on Tama Tonga early?
I don't.
I do because guess what? Gunther is still Gunther without the King of the Ring moniker.
I mean that's true, but
they need some accolades in the bloodline right now with no Roman around. A former North American champion with the weekend jacket.
The weekday is what we call him.
Yeah, but they need something in this bloodline.
Once again, do they need it? Because what if they already have something planned? Like, no, we want to relax right now. We want you to look at this and say, oh, this isn't it. This isn't. Think about what happened after Sami. Everybody's like, oh, the bloodline is boring. All they were doing was buying time. They're like, okay, cool. So we have this many weeks before the next pay-per-view. We don't need to start something. We're going to relax in this period of time because we know where we're going. We're focused on Mania. Now we got about 2 months before Mania. We don't need to start any feud. And everybody's like, oh, this is boring. They're not doing anything. It's like, well, maybe they're not doing nothing because they're just waiting. You know what I mean? So it's like, we don't know what's going on in the bloodline. Do they need anything right now? We don't know where they're headed. We don't know I still don't know what the heck the bloodline is doing. Every week I'm like, bro, what are they? It's not clear to me. And this is ridiculous with this bloodline. It's not clear to me what they're out to do. They've not made their intentions clear. When they were following around Roman, we knew what it was about. The bloodline, keeping this championship in this family for as long as possible. This is how we eat. Roman on his own was dominant. Roman's not there anymore. You got the weekday leading the bloodline now, but it's like, what's your objective? What are you guys trying to accomplish? You took out Randy Orton. You took out Kevin Owens. It's like you said, brother guy. They're taking out everybody that helped Cody at one point. They're not going after anybody else right now.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it's leading to. I don't know who's next. I don't know.
But did you see? Did you see Dylan's comment?
He said, "Why are we trying to see who Cody's next match is? We never did this with Roman, right? Because we knew Roman wasn't going to lose."
And Roman matches had AJ come out of nowhere. Now Logan Paul come out of nowhere. At least with Roman, it was, oh, this is the next opponent. This is the story. It was like out of nowhere. Who asked for this match? First off, that's what I want to know.
Saudi Arabia.
There you go. That's
okay.
The Prince of Jeddah. So
watch this Logan Paul stream.
My question is, or I think what's probably gonna happen. I think we're gonna find out who Cody's next contender is, based off whatever happens here. So I don't know. I know a to be continued when I see one, and this is definitely a to be continued.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that being said, gentlemen, final call. Who is the 2024 King and Queen of the Ring?
Nia Jax and Gunther.
Nia Jax and Gunther, brother Brandon. Who is this year's King and Queen of the Ring 2024?
Nia Jax and Tama Tonga.
I was going to go Gunther. There's just no in the world he's not going to be it. And Tiffany Stratton, but due to some recent things that went down, I wouldn't be surprised if that changed. So I'm also going to go with Gunther and Nia Jax. Nia Jax has been hitting on all cylinders since she's been back, and I think the credibility of her winning Queen of the Ring keeps her in the conversation of, hey, I should be like in this competition for the world championship. So sometimes there's different levels of participation, right? There's the champion, then there's your contender, and then there's the other contenders. We're like, hey, look, we're just as good, and we, but we got to have a reason to be there. Like we all can't just be contenders because we are, but we got to stay in the conversation. We got to keep, making a case for ourselves. So when the opportunity shows up, you can say, hey, you know, you can't be somebody that loses every week and be like, hey, I should be world champion. Like, nah, I've been racking up enough wins. I've been in these I've been dominant. I've been doing things. And I think Nia Jax probably fits the bill at this point for the ladies.
And look at what will her path be.
Yeah.
When you really look at it, it will be the big three to get there.
True. And so, it's been a very bloodline laced year. So, you know, her name.
That's why I said
her name was on the family tree.
That's why I said them too.
Look at Brother Hugh said. So I don't think she needs it, but it's the best choices as of now. I was going with Tiffany Stratton at first, but
I always penciled her for Money in the Bank.
Okay, so you've been saying that. Yeah, you said.
Remember I said the pink briefcase too. I want her for Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
I just think that she
told me she wanted to do.
Right. But I think that she's going to go between all three shows and tease it with that pink briefcase.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she.
Can you imagine her? Can you imagine her getting in the face of whether it be Roxanne Perez or whoever? I can't say that. Roxanne Perez with the belt. Talking about it's not Tiffy time yet. Going to Raw, be like, it's almost Tiffy time. You know, just being in somebody's face.
It keeps it flexible. Like I said, that's the beauty of when you have developmental DX running WWE at this point. They blur the lines. They like women. NXT looks very developmental. The next week, some heavy hitters show up. Like Shayna Baszler just showed up. Like I feel alive. I'm like,
her and Lola Vice.
Bro, like there's all I love the way they do NXT. Like it's crazy to hear me say that because I was a black and gold guy, but I feel like Finn was the first one to really not really, like guys like Rhino and Samoa Joe were the first ones to really like set the tone, even though they were outsiders coming back in. Rhino not so much because he was there already, but like those are two guys that when they both signed, it's like no, we signed with NXT. Like we didn't think we would ever be on the main roster. We were coming to be a part of WWE's new indie promotion, which was NXT. And they were big time names that fit that setting because that's what they were used to. But and now they're like, look, let's keep it this way all the time, so guys can come and go as they please without feeling like I'm demoted. You know what I mean? So gentlemen, we did it. Anybody have any final thoughts before we get out of here, man? Before we wrap up this King of the Ring, King and Queen of the. I gotta get used to saying King and Queen of the Ring. This weekend,
you don't want to say King and Queen's Crown Tournament. You don't want to say that.
Nah, I'm good.
The Queen's Crown Tournament. That's such a Vince McMahon thing to say.
Let's just keep it simple. King and Queen of the Ring. But such an amazing Wakanda looking advertisement. Jeddah, such a beautiful city. If you have never been there before, I suggest you go on 4K walks on YouTube or find a nice touristy thing and you can just, let them walk through. You can see how beautiful that place is. But it's coming this weekend, this Saturday, I believe. I don't know what time zone.
You said 1 o'clock.
1 p.m. It's on there.
There it is. May 20th, it's on there. 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is not a bad, Saturday afternoon. Nothing like some good old Saturday afternoon wrestling. But definitely.
This is you watch the pay-per-view and then you go to a cookout.
There you go. Celebrate Memorial Day weekend.
America.
So yeah, America.
The Stars and Stripes and Slams.
So
America.
Please follow for all social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube at youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. Don't forget to follow Championship Culture on Instagram at Brother Brandon.
Championship Culture _
Championship Culture _ Stay tuned to our YouTube channel, our Twitch channel, our Instagram account, our X account, and Facebook as well. So much more to come. If you're not a wrestling fan right now, you are missing out. You want to give anybody a hint about what next week's Championship Culture is supposed to be about? Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. on the WrestlingRealm.com, youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm channel. Brother Brandon?
In light of Memorial Day, it's going to be packed with a partnership with. That's all I'm going to say, because I was trying to give it away last night, but somebody wanted me to give it away, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Just stay tuned. The graphic will be coming out.
All right.
Belts. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm interested.
Yes.
Let me think. I'm trying to guess. Nope. Nope, not even gonna try. Anyways, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for all those who participated in the comments. You said what?
Every belt has a story.
Every belt has a story. We don't have Brother Hugh to say it in his Brother Hugh sexy voice. But thank you. That will suffice, Brother Brandon. Brian H, you got anything coming up, Brother Brad? There it is.
Well, I'm sorry. Y'all do realize I can say it now. Not only was the Championship Culture Boys the inaugural 3-count trivia champion, you're looking at the inaugural opinionated champion. So if you get a chance, if you get a chance, go watch. And it's so crazy what the finals came down to. All I'm gonna say is, if you go watch that episode of the inaugural opinionated by 3-count trivia of 4 sides of the ring, the host Nitram, the man that makes you say, I'll let him say it. He says it better. I
can't do it either. I'm about to try to do it.
He does but I hope to see some of the other Wrestling Realm members on there so we can keep the streak going. And the funniest thing is mouthing off of Mike saying, well, I guess I'm the only podcaster not to win. I felt so bad for the man. But please, if you get a chance, check that out. On 4 Sides of the Ring on all of their social media. All you gotta do is go to youtube.com and search 4 Sides of the Ring. You'll see the show is opinionated. Inaugural champion for 3-count trivia too. So
excellent. Shout out to you, good brothers, man. Look at that. The Wrestling Realm champs just racking up the awards. What about you, Brian? You got anything else? You got anything coming up? Any upcoming days, weeks, show appearances, things you got going on? You want to give people some information about?
Nothing that's recorded yet.
Okay,
but I have more
cooking then.
More up to date. But check out the interview with Dominic Mysterio on the Masked Man show. He wanted everybody to clap for him.
He definitely did. He said, "Brian, I don't see you clapping." I said, "I'm taking notes."
Right. But yeah, make sure y'all check that out. Check out this week, Break It Down with Brian H, episode 257.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
I think it's 257, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, check that out. And that's why I talk about the black women in NXT. Because HBK is cooking.
He definitely is. And I'm sure he has a lot more up his sleeve. So thank you all for staying tuned. And I want you all to participate in some of this. Shout out to Brother Hugh. Hold on, I'm just see what he said.
I said, shut up. You said shout out. That was nice. You was nice.
Shout out to my man D Willie. I think he might have cut his hair by now.
Did he? I saw he posted it, but did he post a picture?
See, I don't know because I thought he was supposed to get it done, but he hadn't done it. So shout out to D Willie, Drew Willingham. Check out the In Our Sports Debate show. It is back. Brother Guy and Brother Hugh made a recent appearance. We've been on that a ton of times before, and we're happy to have him back doing what he does best. You all sit back and enjoy this last little bit of Baltimore club music by Sanford and Son because I think it's funny sounded as we get out of here. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.
Where did this come from?
I have no idea.
That's just how you feel. Okay, we don't own the rights to this music.
We out of here. See y'all. Catch you next.
Houston, we have a problem.